Before we go over this investigation, we need to review a few concepts. So in this unit, properties of exponents, we need to review what is an exponent, and in order to do that, you've got to cover some key vocabulary words. So an exponent tells us how many times a number called a base is used as a factor. For example, 3 to the third power is the same thing as 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So if I had a to the fifth power, what you would need to know is a is considered the base and 5 is considered the exponent. And when it's written like this, a to the fifth power, I call that exponential form. And expanded form is the same thing as saying a times a times a times a times a. So in this table here, 4 to the first power, we write the 4 one time. 4 to the second power, we write the 4 two times. 4 to the third, so in expanded form, looks like this, 4 times 4 times 4. 4 to the fourth, exponential form, expanded form, 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. And so forth and so on. Okay, so going over some of the ones that you had in the warm-up. So I have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So that's the same thing as 2 to the fifth power. This is the same thing as n to the third power. This one is 7 to the first power. Now this one, I have two different bases. So I have a base of 4, and 4 is multiplied by itself once, so 4 to the second power. And then also I have a base of 3, and it has an exponent of a 3. So 4 squared times 3 to the third. And number 5, we have three different bases. We have a 5 to the first, we have a 2 squared, and we have an x squared. Now, when we go from exponential to expanded, 10 squared is the same thing as saying 10 times 10, a to the fourth, a times a times a times a. But 5x squared y cubed, some people want to make the mistake of writing it as 5x times 5x. But that 5 is its own power. It has a power of 1. So it's 5, then x times x, y times y times y. The power only goes to what it is touching. That square is only touching the x. That 3 is only touching the y. The 5 has its own power of a 1. So this one, the 3 is only touching the a. So you're going to write the a 3 times. The 2 is only touching the b, so you're going to write the b twice. The c appears once, and the 2 also just appears one time. So a review of how to expand out, going from exponential form to expanded form. We're going to be using this to look at this investigation. So watch the other videos, and by the end of the investigation, you should know 5 out of 7 of the properties of exponents.